Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna. Welcome to week 28 of 11. Last week, I read 5 Brilliant Scientists. Here's what I have for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this book was about 5 brilliant scientists. And it was from Scholastics, so it had to be at the elementary level because of how fast I read the book. Still great information. Yes, I recommend that you read it. If you have a child that's in 4th or 5th grade, go ahead and read it with them. It was a cool book to have, and I found it at Savers, so it was pretty cool. Okay, so the first person that they covered was Susan McKinney Stewart. Born in 1847, died in 1918, and she was a children's doctor. She actually became the first African-American female doctor in New York State. And at the time, she made the total 3 African-American female doctors during her time. So wow, she was the 3rd one, and she was the first one in the state of New York. The next one is a popular one. Most people know who this is. George Washington Carver was born about 1864, died in 1943. And he was a world-famous agricultural scientist. And some of the things that he did, we know him for peanuts, but he made soil healthy by growing peanuts. And people use that soil for all kinds of things. And I didn't know this, but he made 118 products. Because of his research, sweet potatoes and peanuts became the biggest selling crops in the South. Some more information that I was unaware of. And finally, here are some products made from peanuts: instant coffee, flour, paints, vinegar, wood stains, butter, lotion, shampoo, cooking oil, shaving cream, cocoa, milk, soap, glycerin, and ink. Man, I didn't know any of that doggone information. That's why I said this is a pretty cool book. Okay. The third person is Ernest Everett Just, born in 1883 and died in 1941. And he was a remarkable marine biologist, and his research appeared in science textbooks and magazines, and he wrote over 60 papers and 2 books. Number 3 is Percy Levon Julian, born 1819 and died 1975. He was an outstanding chemist. And Percy created a drug that treats glaucoma. How cool is that? And he also made aerofoam, and that's the chemical that puts out gas in oil fires. This product saved thousands of soldiers' lives during World War II. And he also made a new type of cortisone, a drug used to treat arthritis pains or other illnesses. Now, I am very happy that he made this because when I injured my shoulder in ROTC at advanced camp, I had to have 2 cortisone shots to get my shoulder back on track. So were it not for cortisone, I may never have become Lieutenant Thomas. I'm here to tell you that. So this was awesome information that I had no idea had taken place and who was the creator of it. But very grateful for those 2 cortisone shots. And then finally, Shirley Ann Jackson, born in 1946, and as of the recording of this video, she is still alive and well. And she is a great nuclear scientist. Now, she received a doctorate in physics in 1973. Now, what's interesting about 1973 is because that is the year that I was born. How cool is that? And she was the first African-American woman at MIT to receive her PhD. Now, that is super cool. And I am Dr. Donna, so I'm loving this, right? This is awesome. And then finally, she helped AT&T design the semiconductor laser, allowing people to talk on the phone using long distance. It was also for the CDs. President Clinton put her in charge of some great positions, and you can check her out on Wikipedia. She has done a lot. So in summary, this was a great book. It was a quick read. I think it's great if you have small children. You can have them, or children in elementary school. You can read it with them. Maybe you can do some activities. You can go and do some research, turn it into a whole thing, especially with STEAM going on. I think it's great for the youth to understand history and the amazing things that African-American scientists have contributed to the world. Last week's meditation. I am on Threads, which is an extension of Facebook/Instagram. and I'm trying out different things on it because I don't have a large following over there. It's less than 1,000 people. And what I'm finding is that what I started doing was I started answering questions. I've mentioned this in previous videos on Threads. So I ran a little experiment to see which one would get more traction if I ask questions or if I posted graphics or videos, and the questions are getting more traction. So I think that it's interesting that Threads is a lot like X/Twitter, where people want to go back and forth. You type something, they type something, and you go back and forth and respond. And that group of people is not interested so much in graphics and videos. So it was a great experiment. I'm continuing to do it. Now I still post certain things like announcing my lives and personal accountability video because I still have to stay on the topic in which I'm an expert in. So I do make it a point to post between 1 and 3 questions or text messages, just a thread in and of itself. And some go well and some get absolutely no traction whatsoever, and we'll see how it goes. But take risk and challenge yourself are both principles of real leadership, and that is what I did with that. This week's book, Rags to Riches, to Rags to Riches. Oof. Well, that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. But before I get out of here, just remember the journey of 11. A time for meditation to a path of manifestation. Adios.